Okay, super excited because I am going to talk to you guys about collapsing time, space, illusions, distortions between you and 100K. Whether it is us putting it on a pedestal and going like, I am not there yet. I'm not this entrepreneur. And it's there and I want to have it. And so it's that pedestal energy. I want to be able to collapse it for you today, because we all know that we can have things easy and easier and with ease when we believe that it is easy because we get what we believe. So if I went right now to you and said, get up and go to your kitchen and make a cup of tea, pop the kettle on, pull a tea bag and do it, you'll be like, yeah, easy. Because your brain has conceived it as easy, right? And you're like, how does this make sense? How is 100K connected to making a cup of tea? It is the same. That's what I'm trying to teach you today. Not trying to, I will teach you today and make it easy, because what I have come to realize, having done this a few times, over and over again, with different speeds and rates of creating 100Ks, is to realize that every time I have believed it to be easy, I have received it with ease. That doesn't mean that I didn't have to do the work, didn't mean I didn't have to navigate some big emotions, none of those things. It was not like it just fell in my lap. But the belief creates the reality. And if my belief is that making 100K is as easy as making a cup of tea, it will become at some point when my nervous system has calibrated to it, right? So as I always say to you, I'm here to give you different perspectives. My mentorship, my coaching in itself is honestly about giving people a new perspective. You guys are coaches, mentors, different aspects that you share with the world. Even if you're trainers, if you have hairline products, you have other things, right? You create events. At the end of the day, you're serving people and you're leading with your own energy, your style. You're a leader. Anybody who self-leads is leading other people, has that capacity. And then the way you do it and the way you believe about yourself is how you create things, right? And so now today's call is all about, what do I believe about this 100K? Why is this on a pedestal? Like, why is there a space between me and this reality? Like, why can't I say that I've already nailed it? I am a 100K entrepreneur. I have made 100K. Maybe some of you also have work, right? Because business, yes, this is a business mastermind. This is a call that will allow you to create 100K in your business, but you may have many, many different streams. I do not want you to limit yourself, contract yourself with the idea, with the illusion that, oh, it's only through business. And because my business feels hard right now, I can't create it. Because I created it through many, many ways apart from my business. And I will talk to you, but primarily business as well. Like, what in you is consistently dragging the story? Because these are the things that I had to do. What in me is dragging the story that I haven't done it? Because there was space, right? I did create my first 6 figures in the first 12 months of creating my online business. But before that, I had never seen the face of 100K in a business. And I've been an entrepreneur for since 2010. That's when I opened my first studio. And I had never, no matter what I did, I mean, I will teach you today a way to look at it. But even in the corporate, everything, and then I moved to Australia, I was in the corporate, and I never felt like I have cracked the code for 100K. And then from 2010, I became an entrepreneur. I have been an entrepreneur for so long, right? 1.5 decades. And still, till the last 3 years, till I started this online business and I cracked the code, I could never say that I'm a 6-figure entrepreneur. But what did I do? And this is exactly what I want to teach you in this class, in this call. So whatever is standing between you and a reality, because it's like this, forbidden apple. I say forbidden because everybody wants it, but it comes with so much struggle and everybody's fearful of it at the same time. In our space as entrepreneurs, everyone's like, the first goal is somehow the 100K. then it becomes, 7 figures, then it becomes 8 figures, 9 figures, right? But for a lot of us, when we start the entrepreneurs, whether you're a hairdresser, whether you have a pet or grooming store, whether you're a coach, mentor, healer, whether you create events, whether you write books, I don't know what business you have, and this applies to everybody. This is not contracted to or limited to a certain framework or of entrepreneurship, right? Excuse me. It's about understanding that, okay, we're chasing something or we are creating something based on our understanding. This is the first tab or the level of the game of entrepreneurship, because if I don't hit it, I'm not really playing. Okay. Well, that's what I believed. I don't know if you guys believe it too, because that in itself puts a lot of pressure on me. What if you did nail 50,000 and 70,000 in the first year and you didn't make it 100K? Are you not good enough? I don't know, like I had to sit down and ask myself all these things, because there is this preconceived notion about entrepreneurs, especially in the online space, that if you're not hitting 6 figures, what are you even doing? Why you're not good at it, you suck, whatever, right? And I'm here to tell you this is not all true. What's true is what's true to you. So in this call, you will discover a lot of things. How do we collapse time? But also, what's the truth of 100K? Like, what is the freaking big deal about it? Why do I suddenly, when I hit $8,400, because 100K a year means $8,400 a month, which is roughly around 270 something dollars in a day. Why does it suddenly that because I've done this, suddenly I become a successful entrepreneur and I'm much more meaningful as a person, as a mentor, as a healer, as a coach, as a blah, 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 blah. And neither does that mean that I can't have it, because if it doesn't change anything about me, I can have it and not have it. And then I go like, okay, I'm choosing to have it because it's both. I can have it and not have it. What makes me feel good? Having it, of course. I mean, for me, it was that. For you, what is it? And so, because it's not defining your ability, your worth, your value, everything as an entrepreneur, there's a lot more relaxed energy around it. You're not suddenly going to like become this kick-ass person because that month you made $8,400 and over a period of time, in 12 months, you created this and now you're such an epic human being. Before that, you weren't. Do you guys get where I'm going with this? So the first thing is, apart from learning the practical tools, which I'll tell you, which is like massively a perception, which I shifted, and that's how I got these results. And I want to share some results with you so you understand, okay, what's really happening behind the scenes for my business as I continue to learn and embody these things and be able to share it with you. But first thing is to understand that anything, and this is something I learned from many, many mentors, but specifically my mentor, Bob Proctor, because I came to know about Bob Proctor, funny enough, like almost 2.5 years back, right? Like I think it was just, he passed away in Feb. That's when I got to know him. Within months, I learned about his stuff and I wrote a book in April, and he was under my page of dedication, like all the mentors, right? My gratitude. But what I learned from Bob Proctor was like the separation. He didn't use the word separation. He was more about law of attraction, frequency, but oneness mindset, that you set your mind on a frequency, but like pedestal. And also my mentor, Melanie Ann Lair. And that's when I completely understood this. So if I am putting something on a pedestal, I am creating separation, guys. And this is my spin on it. When I say that I am not this person yet, I have created a separation. When I say, "Ooh, this is good, this is juicy, I want to be this 100K entrepreneur," fine, great, 6K entrepreneur, fine. Sorry, 6 figure entrepreneur, good. There's nothing with, there's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing with it. There's no meaning to it. You see, we are the ones who give a meaning to it. And if my meaning is not like, it's just exciting. I want to do it because it's exciting, because I'm entering the space. I'm entering this. I didn't create this way, that I'm entering the space and 6 figures feel exciting. And I want to do it because it feels good. And I show up in this. I didn't freaking do it this way. I was like, oh my God, okay. Well, it was a desire that was put on my heart. I've spoken about it many times. But, first question would be, why do you want this? Why do you want the 100K? Yes, I know you're in a six-figure mastermind. We talk of all ways to make your business to a six-figure mark. That's 100K. But primarily, these are queries that you want to help, inquiries that you want to make within. Why do I want it? Is it going to shift something for me? What is it going to shift? And so when we start looking at these things, we start getting very clear on why do I want it? Because if it's trying to prove that your self-worth or something like this, and then I can say I'm a great entrepreneur, you want to clear that energy, because I can tell you what, after I did it, I still didn't feel great enough, because I had to I had to create unconditional worthiness. That's a huge point. And this is all related to you collapsing 100K timeline, collapsing time between you and that 100K. So number one, why is it on a pedestal? Okay. Why is it on a pedestal? What in me is putting a separation between me and this 100K? Because you know that you're whole, you're everything, you are the field. That's how I operate. That's what I teach. That's what I've come to learn from all my mentors and 2 decades of studying energy, that I am whole. Okay. I'm the field. That means I can have anything. And if I am everything, there is no separation. It just goes like, I've had this pull. It's feeling good. I want to create, I want to move. I am being pulled towards this versus I'm chasing this. They're two different energies. So first is putting on a pedestal, then understanding, why do I want this? Because it's going to tell you all that squeaky clean energy that's not within you, that that icky energy. If I have this, I will feel this way. If I have this, then I can tell my ex-partner or that person who left me that you will be nothing without me, or this is it, or in school I was bullied and now I can show I'm successful. If those are the reasons, and oftentimes they are, we don't realize. Why do we want this thing? And if it is because I want to play with this, it feels good to me. And if we're on the path of it feeling good, when things don't move and we're not feeling good, we have to remind ourselves that we started doing this in the first place to feel good. And then why am I choosing not to feel good when the evidence is not coming? It was really about, I chose this because I wanted to feel good. And the more you stay anchored in that truth, you will see that you will be able to collapse time way faster versus someone who is, like, let's do it, let's get it, this is what we're meant to be, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is positive mindset, this hustle, 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 make it happen. And once they made it happen, ooh, okay, well, I got the money, but nothing really changed. Like, I'm still running and chasing and running and chasing and running and chasing. Why am I doing this? Right? Then morning, Faith. So I'll look at your comments and I'll share those in a moment. So first, identifying why is the six figure on a pedestal? It's not, there's nothing wrong with it on being on a pedestal, but it's almost like, what in me, put it on a pedestal. Like, there are things right now we put on a pedestal, and the work is to clear it. Anything that we don't have that's not normal, right? That's not our autopilot, that's not normal, is tends to be separated and be on a pedestal. Like, if I told you right now, today, somebody told me, oh, okay, like, for me, okay, well, doing, like, maybe say first class, okay? I've never flown first class. I've done business class a couple of times, and I would like to take my daughter, and that's what we're manifesting, to go to Paris. But if somebody told me this, it's not normal for me to fly with first class. This is a funny example, but I don't know how else to do it, because this is a 100K class, and the easier way is to calculate money. Because if I told you I'm able to help XYZ number of people heal, sometimes you can't even say that, because there's so many people following your work, never reaching out, and there are thousands of people reaching out and sending you messages. So money is more measurable. That's all. While saying I've done this or this or this, right? So anyways, if I say that somebody says to me, do this and go fly first class, that would be something separated energy. It's not normalized. I would still kind of put it on a pedestal. I may or may not, but it's not normal. So there's already a separated energy, like it's not feeling like wholeness in there. So I would investigate and I would create that wholeness. That's how I collapse the time between me and that non-linear energy of first class. Because I haven't even given it a thought, to be honest. This has come as an example, but why would I? And why wouldn't I? All of those things. Because stories are basically distortions in our energetic field. Quantum field says have it all. You are it. So if I look at 100K, for some of you who are starting businesses or you've been in the seasons of businesses and you still feel like you've not cracked the code where you can say, I made 100K in my business, easy, let's go on. What's the next thing? Why are we separating? Because some version of you right now feels like, oh, it's like the first class. So understanding what in me is separating, like I would go like, okay, well, I don't fly first class. I've never spent that kind of money on flying in first class. So I will start writing stories and then my job is to clear it, right? I'm being honest with you. I'm bringing this example so you can see how I do stuff. So what in you is putting that 100K on a pedestal because it doesn't have to be. The moment I'm able to clear the stories between me and the first class, I may choose it and I may have it. But so let's look at the example of 100K because that's really true to you. You really want to create it. And so the reason would be like, why am I putting it on a pedestal? Then the second thing. Now, I want to be able to give you guys some shift of perspective that helped me collapse time around. Okay, this camera needs to go up a little bit. That was able to help me collapse time in me and this energy wave, this timeline, this reality, this version of me who could say, I have done it, I've cracked the code to 100K. Because they're just energy waves, they're timelines, they're identities. Your identity is literally a consciousness, it's an energy wave. And what I want to be able to teach you is how do you collapse time? So a lot of people understand this, that, it's linear. You start the business, you have success, and then you crack the code for 100K, you go on, then it's 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, blah, 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 blah. And so somewhere along the journey, we already have a perception. It may take me 6 months, it may take me 12 months, it may take me 2 years. Some people are not even able to crack it in 3 years. Again, there's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad. I've been in masterminds where I've seen all sorts of people. I've seen people making 6 figures in a day. I've seen people making it in months, making it in 6 months, right? Making it in 12 months. When I started, that's what I was able to do. But to be in spaces like this, I've seen people who said, I've been doing it for 3 years and I finally cracked the code and it's still joyful. So the gap between them, the desire and the 100K, there is something between A and B. We are here, this is the perception, and we think it's linear. We think that, I'm going to do these things and then it'll create it and then I can say that I've done it. But what I want to say to you is, I want to be able to teach you how to collapse the time. Not because you're crazy fanatic, oh my God, I need it right now, then I'll have this. No, you don't need it. You want to create it because A, you know that you can create. B, do have anything. Second, you want to create because you want to feel good. If there's any other reason, that's why I'm saying the free work here is to understand why. What is it going to do? If it's going to be like, yeah, the bully or the ex-boyfriend or the ex-husband or the mother or the sister or this, I'm going to prove it to them. That's not squeaky clean energy. The motive behind it, everything is intention, everything's energy. Energy moves with intention. And if your intention is not squeaky clean for your highest good, it ain't happening. So if I wanted to create it because I really wanted to create because I was so done with lack and I had gone through a season of rock bottom. And so for me, it was like, it was a desire placed on my heart, right? Like Tony Robbins asked me, what do you want to create in the next 3 months? Out of nowhere, it came 3 months. And I was like, why? I'd never seen a face of it. I hadn't even started my online business. That made me start my online business. But the 6 figure came to me as a desire. Now, if I would have said that I want to show my ex-husband what I can do, If I wanted to say, like, you know what, I want to show every freaking senior who bullied me how successful I am, because people still follow me, like a lot of people from my school. Those were wrong desires, you see. My desire was moved with the desire that I wanted. I want to feel abundance. I am sick of lack. I don't want to feel this way. I want to taste the edge, the potential, because if I am infinite potential, what else can I create? And apart from like moving away from pain was bigger reasons, right? So understanding the why is so important. You will be able to collapse time much faster if you understand. You get clearer and clearer and clearer. Because what happens is, I've seen this a lot with entrepreneurs, even with my own self. I've been doing this work for 3 years. As I said, this is my fourth year. I've been in many spaces personally, have invested, been in masterminds, and I have led many entrepreneurs, healers, coaches, mentors, anything for that matter, right? Light workers, individuals. We go to work, this sort of work and coaching and mentoring and healing and spaces and, elevating spaces and masterminds. And we go almost with this bubble around our head. We're like in a cloud. This is my story, this is what's happened, and when I go into space, first I need to tell my story, then I need to share everything, and in this cloud I feel I will find my solution. Do you guys feel me on this? Because I was this. And sometimes I can still do this if I'm in plugging in higher masterminds and, like the people playing big numbers. I'm like, this is my story. And I'm like, very quickly, I have to check on myself. So, but this is the thing. When you go, I want you to look at your journey, every coach, mentor program you've invested in, masterminds. We go, have you gone with like a cloud? There's almost like an energetic bubble around us. And we're in that bubble because we look at what we've done, what has worked and what has not worked. And mostly it's the story of what's not worked. And that's why when we're investing, we're like, that's not worked. And now I want it to work. And so we go in this, and I want you to really start reflecting on it, each one of you. Any space you enter, whether it's mine or any other coaches, mentors, whatever you're investing in, do you go with this cloud? And if you are, there is no judgment here. But can we clear this cloud? Because when we clear the clouds that are around us, we tap into something so profound, such deep clarity that helps us look through things beyond the distortions. We shift our perceptions. We can see through infinite possibilities that are existing in the quantum field. We can see so much more when I let this cloud around me, who I've been, what's worked, what's not worked, what's my story, why I'm doing this, all of those things. Like literally, I stop being a storage cabinet and I can literally become this light coded being. And I'm like, whoop, I can see through everything. I can see through this mentor. I can see through these possibilities. I can see through these codes she's sharing. I can see through the whole field and bring it on. And then I'm lit up to create these 100K verses. I am in a cloud. This is my story. So even when you tell me 20 things, I'm going to look through the cloud and maybe I get some of it. 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 And that does not mean there's something wrong you're doing or that I was doing wrong. It just is an invitation. This is what I've come to realize, and I want to share with you guys. Can you observe if you're in a cloud? Can you, maybe you're in a very light cloud, but can you let go of that cloud? Can you become the open field? So much open field in your business, so much open field in your conversation, so much open field in these mastermind calls, so much open field in any program, any investments that you make, that you never ever have to go and say, I did this, I invested so much and it didn't work, or this is what I've gotten the results. Because every time I take that energy, I am actually pushing away the 100K even more, because that energy around me is such an invisible shield bubble. 100K here, put it on a pedestal. Now there's so much around me. Why this has not happened yet? That is the freaking block. It's a huge block. If not all blocks, at least one of the biggest blocks. And I bet you didn't expect she's going to say this, that I have a bubble around me, because I had it for so long. And I want to be able to tell you, because there's nothing, if we talk about this quantum work, if we say that everything is available, everything is energy, every potential is right now in the infinite possibilities exist for me in the field, and I am the field, and everything around me is the field, and infinite possibilities. 100K means nothing. Abraham Hicks says this, and often I'm like, woof. Abraham Hicks says that if you're playing the game of six figures, it's too little. Now, that does not mean anything in the way like it's coming from a place where we can have everything, but it's our own integration that slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly, which I'm going through right as well. So here's an open invitation. And I'm going to be bold enough, courageous enough, brave enough that you allow me to give you this invitation, and you allow me, you give me the permission, because I'm very mindful that each one of you is on your journey, but the fact that you're here, you've chosen to listen to this, I am going to give you this invitation, and you will receive it for your highest good. I want you to become aware of this energetic cloud, which is basically a storyline that is around you. And it is who you've been or what you've navigated and what you have done that has not worked for you, that has not created the desired results, and the story of this warrior, which is beautiful. But that warrior had to be created because something went wrong. And that warrior is now like consistently like, but I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. And that cloud is made of everything. That cloud is made of the experiences you've gone through, the strength, the courage, the bravery, everything, and the experiences and the desire for that 100K, but also a lot of denser energy storylines. This is nothing. The cloud is a storyline. And while it shows you how beautiful and how brave and how courageous you are, that you keep going and going and going and going, and it's worth celebrating every second of your existence, what would happen if you let go of this cloud is my invitation that you're going to ask yourself today. Am I ready? What is my cloud? Become aware of it. And are you willing to let go of this cloud? And you will get almost like an anxiety, low level. Can you feel in your body? Because it's like, oh no, it's pulling on us. It's like, no, 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 don't let me go. Can you feel this anxiety in your body right now? Even as I say it, I feel it. And that's our work. Because the 100K is just a field, it's a potential, it's all that's between me, it's the cloud, it's the storyline. It's like, I'm not this, I am that, I've gone through this, I don't have it right now, this is not what's worked for me, this and this and this and this and this. And there's such an energetic field of my storyline. And that is why it's, not often what we do, it's what we're not doing. You don't have to take big actions to collapse time between this 100K. What you have, ask yourself, what is that I'm not doing? What I'm not doing is letting go of my storyline. What I'm not doing is letting go of the identity that who's not cracked 100K. And why consistently I have to keep projecting unconsciously of why I've struggled, what I've navigated, and how how the 100K is going to be now more meaningful because I have such a projection around it. Because again, 100K means nothing. I have a storyline. So now it's more relevant. It's so worthwhile because I've navigated so much, you see, and these are all lower paradigms of creation with struggle. And does that mean I didn't do it? I very much did it this way, but I'm also here to share another way with you, right? And so this is just like the pre-work of collapsing time around your 100K. And once you've done this, I'm just going to bring some white light because I can feel so much is releasing, throat, heart center. Everybody close your eyes for a second. I want you to take a big sigh out through your mouth. Let it go, drop your shoulders. We're going to calmly breathe in. Big sigh out, drop your shoulders. And now take a breath at the pace, at the depth that feels right for you, in and out at your own pace and own depth. And that feels lighter, better, grounded. So, before I share with you the perspective and what helped me create this and the technique that I use to collapse time and which I've been teaching my private clients in a lot of work, different containers. I want to share with you guys how this has impacted me. Yes, you know the story that I started my online business in December. It was actually end of November 2020. And within the first year, actually on the 1st of December 2021, I actually had a 17K day. That was the first time ever that I'd made multiple five figures in a day. Before that, in October, I had done a launch and I was able to create 22K in a month. So that was a big thing. But where I'm going with this is that on the 1st of December 2021, I crossed, it was roughly around 120K. That was the first year of my business. So I had learned how to collapse time. And then I struggled a bit in my second year, up and down, up and down. I was still able to create it, but it felt a lot harder and it because I'll talk about this in a moment how we want to be able to create it our way because I wasn't creating it my way. That's why it felt harder. So first I used everything I was taught to create it, and then it was like, ooh, this is icky, this is not feeling good, right? But I was able to create it, and then I was able to create it, and I was able to create it, right? And I've created multiple six figures over the last 3 years. But what I do want to share with you is how have I been able to collapse time? Because you'll be like, yeah, if you did this, you create multiple six figures over and over again in 3 years, how are you collapsing time? So my brand in the last 3 months, so this is a new year, 2024, we're in the fourth month of the year. And my brand has created $64,000 roughly in the first 3 months of this year. And so, why is this collapsing time for me? Because something that took me a year to make $100,000 and then a little bit more, okay, so not six figures, a little higher. I always cross that, but it was taking me a whole year. And now, if you look, $64,000 in roughly 3.5 months, so it's not taking me a year now. What is collapsing time? That I get to the same frequency because I've done this over and over again. What's going to happen is I'm going to compound and I'm going to collapse the time. That means it's not collapsing times mean I'm able to do that thing faster. That means I've mastered it and then I am able to do this in a shorter period of time. So I did want to share my own personal win with you guys so you really understand that the place I come from is an embodied place, not to prove anything, but I sit with myself and I go like, what have I done that I can teach here? What have I done that what something that was taking me a whole year to create, almost, right? Like with the rate I'm going, and again, I don't want to project the rate because it could slow down, it could amplify. What could happen? I don't know. And I don't like projecting. A lot of people will tell you elsewhere, project and create. Yes, we project, but I project the knowingness. I project trust that whatever comes through me, I create that. Tomorrow I could close all of this and do something else. That's my projection because I've created that level of liberation. I'm not saying you guys have to, but if you project, then you will be stuck with that number alone. And that creates a lot of anxiety, that creates a lot of pressure. And a lot of entrepreneurs I've worked with are struggling big time, low level anxiety being an online entrepreneur. I was for a long time till I actually was like, okay, you know what? My job is to project trust and knowingness that whatever next desire comes, I follow that. And that's why I don't follow numbers. I do energetic projections in the field. I don't go like, this is the number I will make. I used to, and that was like low level anxiety. So, first thing, I'm going to break all of this for you guys. The first thing is you've already done it. This is my first trip, technique, trick, and tip. I just mixed trip and tip and trick together to make it trip. Let's trip. But I want to share with you guys. It's real, okay? I want you to pause, put your pens and notebooks down, and hear me out. Because you'll be like, motherfucker, what? You just told me what I've already done. Yes. You have already done. You have made 100K. And you'll be like, no, I haven't. My bank account doesn't show this. I am telling you I haven't. Who are you to tell me? No, I'm going to sit down and I want you to look at your entire career. Okay. Most of you are in your 30s, 40s. So I'm assuming you started working since you were 18, 19, whatever. Okay. Or you would be close to that. No way possible you haven't done it, but let's, for the sake of argument, I want you to look at the total number of income that you've ever made in the last 20 years. Have you together, even if you made whatever amount in a year, do you think that in total of your lifetime, you have made crossed 100K in total? There we go. So what? If you have created, I'm talking in real time, hear me out again. And if you have, that's amazing. I want you to look at the total roughly in your head since you started working. Maybe you were 18. Every wage, every salary, every business, every client payment, every money that you earned in total, have you made a total of 100K plus or 100K or close to that in your entire lifetime? And you're 30, 40, 50, 60, I don't care. Now, first, you have to identify and totally believe that you have made it. Is there any way you can deny? You can't because you have done it. Now, here's the thing. Your brain is very willingly able to believe what has already been done because it's like, fuck yes. Yeah, 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 we've done it. We've done it. It is very easy for me to go like, I have created multiple six figures now because I've done it and I've done it. What's the point? You have done it. You've already made 100K. Yes, you have not made it in this year. You've not made it in 1 year, but hear me out for a second. So first is to believe that I have made 100K. I want you to write in the comments any part of your brain arguing with it. When you say the total money that I've ever made is more than 100K. Is your mind fighting it? Yes or no? No, no. Now, can you feel the feeling in your body? It's pretty relaxed. It's like it's known. It's like even if you got up and did muscle testing right now and you went like, have I created 100K? Your body's going to go forward. Yes. If you know how to muscle test, you can stand and, lean forward is a yes, lean backwards is a no. You can also use your hand. I often do it when I'm like standing up. Now, I want you to feel into, I will make 100K. Okay, no, wait. How do we do this? Okay, now I want you to do, I have made 100K this year. What's the body going? What's your legs? What's your body? Is there resistance? It's like a hell yes, or it's like, no, it's not true. Because your body is everything. Right? Your body is your brain. Your body is your subconscious. Your body speaks to you all times. If it is not true in your brain, it's not true in your body. And if it's not true in your body, it's not true in your brain. We've done all this work in the quantum leap formula, right? So even if you stand up right now and you muscle tense and say, I have made 100K in a year and you haven't, your body is going to lean backwards if you do muscle testing, whatever form of muscle testing. But if you stand up, forward is yes and backwards is no. And so why do we want to use this technique? Because our brain can believe a lot faster without resisting. It already believes you have made 100K over a lifetime. I want you to use this when your body doesn't resist and go like every day from now on, this is your truth. The moment you know it's true, you cannot fight it. But you're fighting against something that you believe is not true, and that's why we're not able to collapse time. It's taking so long. So what I want to be able to do is, when you know I have made it, I have made 100K, just go like, I have made 100K, right? You did the math over a period of your lifetime, you've created 100K. Every day, I want you to feel I created 100K. I fucking love it. Just because it feels good. I mean, why was I telling myself I can't create it? Because I had done it. Do you feel the feeling in your body? There is no resistance because it is true. It is as true as saying, I'm a woman. If I got you to stand up and do muscle test and say, I'm a man, your body's going to lean back. But if you're a woman, you're like, same thing. I made 100K in a year backwards. I made 100K. Fuck yes. Hell yes. Now I'm not fighting. So what I want to do is I want to use this energy and I want to now amplify and compound it. This is how I'm going to collapse time. The very important trick to realize, which I first heard, this was 2.5 years back, was that when we are trying to collapse time just means that I'm getting better at it, better at it, better at it. It's taking me less time and I'm able to access this thing faster. Like a child when they're learning to walk, start crawl, then taking a few steps, then walking. And then when they learn to run, they can sprint to that point of the house and come back to the gate faster versus baby slowly going. And the more number of times you master, like a basketball player, when they're learning to play, they're slow, they're slow, they're slow. Number of times I've done this, practice also collapses time. The more I do it, the more I go like, I can close my eyes and throw it now. And it's taking me less time. I'm getting faster. That's why I was like able to create almost, it's like more than 50% in 3 months than what used to take me years, like a whole year. So understanding that when I'm preparing myself to collapse time, which is basically meaning I'm mastering it, I'm reducing the time, I'm not putting pressure on it, I'm actually enjoying it, like I'm just doing it because I'm able to access it faster. I'm able to access this feeling faster and it materializes. I don't want to calibrate. This is the mistake I was doing till I learned it, and this may be the thing you're doing. And I want you to stop and listen that when we want to create this collapse time between us and the 100K a year, okay? I don't want to calibrate to the number. A lot of us start calibrating to this is what 100K is. I want us to calibrate to the frequency, the feeling. Oh, sorry, I want you to calibrate to the frequency, the number. I don't want you to calibrate to the timeline. I'm going to say this again because I may have mixed it up. When we are wanting to collapse time around 100K a year or beyond, what most of us do is we calibrate, and calibrate means sync up, right? Every thought, every action, every projection, everything is syncing up to that desire, that goal. So when we calibrate to 100K a year, what we do is we calibrate to 100K in 12 months, and we're calibrating to the timeline, and that actually slows us down. You don't want to, a lot of people project, I want to have a 10K month, I want to have a 30K month, a month, 30 days. I want to have this. I want to become leaner before summer. I want to do this. The moment you attach a timeline, you start calibrating, you're freaking slowing yourself down, you're not leaping. So the first thing you want to do is understand that we don't attach to the timeline, we attach to the frequency of the number, which means I am calibrating to 100K. And if I'm calibrating to 100K, what does 100K mean? What does it feel like? What does it feel in my body? What is the frequency? What's the energy? And also the fact, what is the truth about this? That you've already done 100K, but you weren't owning it. And that's why you were not able to see it. Do you guys see how huge this is? That if you can't see it, you will consistently keep telling yourself, it's not there, it's not there, it's not there. Like often have you seen, like you'll be in the kitchen with someone, and you'll be like, can you pass me that? And they go to look and they can't find it. And they're like, I can't see, I can't see, I can't see. You go right to that spot and you pull over that, that pepper or that cup, and you're like, it was right there, but they couldn't see it. Again, an example that might not make sense, but sometimes things are in front of us, but we don't see it, and we don't see it because we are not looking from that lens. And so when you start realizing that, am I calibrating to the timeline, the duration, I'm actually slowing myself down. If I want to collapse, that means I get to this thing faster, and I just enjoy this faster, this reality, because again, I'm A, not in the cloud, B, it's not on a pedestal, C, I know why I want it. I want to feel good about it. And D, I get to have it. And now it's like, well, I get to have it in XYZ timeline. Sorry, not interested. I just get to have it because I want to feel good about it. Which one do you want to be? You already can feel the energy, like what's feeling right, what's not, right? Now, once I know that I've done it and my body is believing it and there is no resistance. So the whole point of what this exercise was to get out of the resistance. Because before today, you had a lot of resistance unknowingly in your body that I don't make 100K a year. But the fact that you release resistance in your body now knows the truth. I made 100K. There is no part of you right now energetically releasing, resisting it that I've made 100K. Everything feels calm. Now I want to use this because I'm already plugged, calibrated to the number. I don't care about the timeline. And I want to compound it and amplify it. That means every day I amplify it. I've done it. And compounding happens that over a period of time, what would happen if so far, okay, for the last 3 years, 2 years, how many years you've been trying to, for whatever number of time, you guys had a business and you didn't create 100K a year. And you kept telling yourself the story that how you didn't create it and you tried so many ways. That's why you're in this reality. What would happen if for the next 30 days, you told yourself a story that I've done 100K? I've created it. Without the timeline, just speak the truth. Speak the truth every day to yourself, not anybody else. What would happen when you amplify it every day? A, the observer effect comes into place. So step 3 of the formula, what we observe consistently. Right now, you are observing that I haven't done 100K a year. Now I'm asking you to observe the energy, the number, not the timeline, not the duration. And when you're doing it, you're observing it, you're amplifying it, and that's going to compound. That means compounded energy will take you faster. And that in itself is the biggest technique that I can give you to collapse time around your 100K year. Because first I'm plugged into the energy, the number, and then comes the duration. Because now you are not distorted, you're not projecting, you don't have storylines that I've done 100K, but I haven't done it in a year, this and that. You stand strong in your truth that I've done 100K. When I have zero resistance and I actually every day amplify it, that's what happens. This is what happens when we do the magnetic work or magnetism work, or we want to increase our attraction, or we want to change our body. What do I teach you guys? Even in the formula, like if you want to change your body, you want to feel good, you want to be able to say every day, I love myself, I love the way I look at myself in the mirror, I feel good, I love my body, like all of this, which sounds tacky or cliche, but no, this is true. And then so many of the people have done the formula and changed their body type. It's the same thing. So today you will consistently tell yourself the truth. I'm not asking you to fabricate the fact that your brain went like, yeah, I've done 100K, easy. I've done it. That's what you're going to repeat and repeat and repeat naturally, like it's your truth, because it is your truth now. It's not fabricated. And because it's your truth, your brain's not going to resist. Your manifestations, money, energy, clients, anything that you're wanting to create in reality, in tangible expression, comes through the path of least resistance. And the more we realize the purpose of this collapsing time between us and the 100K is just this thing. It's like releasing that. Now, the second thing, once you grasp the hugeness, of this conversation we've had, And you can watch this replay over and over again to come back to it multiple times and watch it, and there's so much in there. I've said a lot of things today because when you watch it over and over again, you'll get the chime. Take one aspect, start with this: why am I putting it on a pedestal? Why do I want this? Just every day do this exercise, journal or talk to yourself. I don't journal anymore, but I just talk. I throughout the day I do always self inquiries. So this is such a great way. Now, the second thing that I want to help you to teach you to collapse time around your 100K in your business, in your career as well. Because now I know that I've done it and it is my truth. No part of me is resisting it, rejecting it. So I said we amplify it, we compound it. But now the second step is basically I've done it and I get to create it again and again and again. So your perception, your shift, your projection now has become, I've done it, and I get to create it over and over and over again. Now, wait, because some of you might go like, but the way I created it, I didn't like it. That's true. So this is what I wrote. I get to create it in different ways again and again. I get to create again and again that feeling that I get. I get to create feeling good again and again. And I get to create it in different ways. That 100K does not. So the fact is, the grounding foundation is I have done it. When your brain realizes you've done it, it is not going to argue even this much with you. No, but when, how, this. Can you feel it already? You guys can feel it, right? Because it's known. Your brain doesn't go like, but how, when, how can you prove to me I'm a woman? It's a fact. Our brain doesn't challenge us on facts, right? Because it's evidence. So because I've done it, now it's like I've done it. Now I'm choosing to do it all over again and again and again. I'm choosing to do it in different ways. I'm choosing to do it in a way that feels good. I did it this time, last time, and it took me this long. Now I'm choosing to create different timelines around it. I am choosing to create a different timeline around it. I am choosing to feel good about it. Maybe you made that 100K working at McDonald's, then at cafes and places where you didn't like, okay? Again, an example. Maybe you did it like I did it with a lot of hustle and vision and a lot of energy, right? And I was like, I don't want to create my next 100K this way. I don't. So now I have done it. I'm choosing to do it all over again. I'm choosing to do it with a different energy. I'm choosing to do it in a different fashion. I'm choosing to do it with what feels good to me. I'm choosing to feel good over and over again. I'm choosing to create this in a different timeline. I'm choosing to create this with a whole different vibe. I am choosing to create this next 100K the way I desire, because I have evolved and so have my ways and so have my desires and so has my energy. I am choosing. Now, what you're choosing is you are totally in control. But if you do not bring the cloud, you're the field. You can see through the field. You will see ideas. You will collapse. You will sell an offer that's $44 and it will make you a $97 offer made me 100K. Do not underestimate. Do not think you have to do high ticket, because that's what I understood in my first year. And I put a lot of pressure on myself. My second year, I had combinations of my master classes and a lot of private clients, but I was able to create. I was like, I am going to follow my heart. When you give yourself the permission to go like, I'm going to do it my way. But a lot of people, unfortunately, like me, when they enter the industry, the online space, or whatever you're doing, but if most of you are entrepreneurs here, you want to do, physical and in person and online. Like we just think like high ticket is the way to go. That's how we're going to nail it. Yes, raising your prices is good. But at the same time, can you hold duality? Can you be like, I can offer something for free, $7? I've done it all. And what it led me to do is I met clients at every stage of their client journey. Someone who didn't have money, someone who needed love. My content gave them hope and love. It still fills my heart because I get messages every day about the fact that I couldn't buy stuff, but your stuff changed my life. Do you think I feel less happy for that person who didn't pay me? but she was able to, just like that is the depth. So if you want your 100K, if you stop projecting with the cloud that I'm saying, that if you go like, well, I want, a client at $2,000 and that's how I'm going to work. Well, if it's totally true to you and that's your energy and you can get behind it, do it. But if it's because, high ticket offer, industry says this, all of these things, this is what I battled with my first year. And I was able to create it. Look, I'm not saying if you want to follow a structure, follow a structure. But very quickly you'll realize that you will not create it that way the second time. A lot of people, like my mentor, some of them have created 8 figures, 9 figures. And they all said that the way we created our first 6 figures or 7 figures, the second, the next round did not happen that way. The 8 figures didn't happen that way. And the fact that you can give yourself permission, because if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, fine, you got a structure in place, you're a freaking rock star of an entrepreneur, and maybe that's how you want to live. But a lot of free spirited entrepreneurs, they will feel lost, they will feel icky. Like, I just know I pay huge amounts of money to get into a room and pay to my mentors. And I will tell you, probably follow 10% of the advice because I just can't get around. And there was a lot of resistance. And I'm realizing my liberation, because I'm all about liberation. Your business will allow you liberation. Your relationships will allow you liberation. The money you create will allow you liberations. Your self-talk, your identity work. It's ultimately the goal is liberation. And I have come to realize when I reflect, whenever I have felt heightened sense of liberation is through something that I've let go of. And for me, it was like, for especially, this was last, actually in the last month and a half, like I hired a new coach and I was like very excited and I had the worst coaching experience of my life. And again, I have nothing against the coach, nothing. Okay. Very quickly, the moment I realized I didn't complain, cringe, anything, I said, this is feeling unaligned. And I didn't even ask for my money back, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But the fact that I had learned to listen to myself and I didn't fight this thing, I didn't go like, I put so much money. Now what do I follow this? No. So my point is very simple. When I started telling myself, I've asked myself, I'm like, why don't you follow this? Last year, I paid one of my mentors. She's one of the highest, like she's been in here in the industry for long, right? In Australia. And I paid her $14,000 to be in a 1-day private mastermind. And I didn't have the money. So I had to basically give it in installments. So from becoming like 11,000, it became 14,000 because of installments. Anyways, the point is very simple. And I had some energy shifts and I love my mentors, but the fact that I was given so many swipe files that could make me 100K days, but there was no part of me that wanted to follow it. So what I'm trying to show you is there's so much available around me. Again, I may have my own clouds, but this is your life. This is your business. And if something is not feeling right, don't do it. And what's feeling right will create collapse time around this 100K. So when I was able to give liberation, and the fact that you guys know one thing about me, I love myself deeply. Nobody can come and shake that up. Nobody can tell me anything about myself that I like, that about my self-love, the way I respect myself, having navigated what I have. Now, how's it connected to 100K or the business call? It is. It is. Because I stand in such knowingness and truth about myself that is unshakable, that when I decide that I'm not going to follow something that this mentor is teaching me, I am unshakable in that knowingness. When I decide that I'm going to run a $7 offer and it will still lead me to that 100K, it is unshakable. When I decide that I'm going to sell something and I'm going to call in a private client, first I started with 4,000, 5,000, 12,000, 22,000, 29K. My highest client has paid me 33K. And so I decided, and I was like, because I believed it will happen. What is the point? Like, it starts with small things, and you will very quickly realize there was nothing around you and your 100K. First, do you have enough belief in yourself? Do you get swayed away? Because whenever something says, you watch other people's content and you start creating content like this, that means you don't know your own content. Now, again, does not mean that you don't take inspiration. You take inspiration, you take love, you take everything. But my invitation to you is to get to know you. And I've been all of it that I'm telling you right now. I still remember this was This was 2 years back in Feb that I'd signed up with a new mentor, okay, in her containers. And she went on live. She went live every day and she had this thing. And I copy pasted her title from her live. I went and I put it on my live. And I did my live. I shared, obviously, what I shared was my truth, but I copied her title. And she reached back after this call and she said, like, I'm all for inspiration, but, like copying it straight away, it's not so cool. And that spoke a lot to me. But I'm telling you, I've been this person when I didn't know, I didn't have my own voice. I'm like, okay, well, this is feeling good. Let's do this. And so it is not, she didn't shame me, nothing. It was my own reflection. How is this related to collapsing time? Because the more personal power we build, the more we drop the illusions of why this 100K is not there. The more personal power I build, I will speak, find my voice. The more personal power I build, I will find my personal voice. My personal voice will lead me to my truth. That will lead me to authenticity. People are magnetized to buy stuff from people. They can feel their energy. None of you guys would be here if you didn't feel my honesty or my truth or something about me, because there's so many out there, right? So you got to own, otherwise we get lost in the crowd. Now, and again, when I speak, this 100K is more accessible. The fact that I know why I want it, what's feeling good to me. I am unavailable for what's not feeling good. And then basically, what I want to do is create in my own ways. So the more I get to know myself, what is my way? You already made the 100K. What did we say? We declared that I've made 100K. I'm now going to do it many, many, many different ways. I'm going to collapse different timelines around it. This time, if I made 100K in 10 years, say maybe you made it in 10 years, okay? For example, and you're like, I am going to collapse time. I'm going to create a new timeline. Now you're not like, no, but it has to be a year. It has to be a year. No. What if you made it in 2 years? And then after that, you made it in 3 months. I still remember one of my mentors, Melanie always said, like, when we know we've decided that we, whatever, like she's all about wealth and ascended wealth. And she's like, we know we're going to be millionaires. We're going to have millions of dollars. Does it matter if I have it today or 5 years from now? If I know. And that's what my slowing down was all about. Like I said, I've been saying to you guys, right? I'm in the season of slowing down. What season are you in? I'm like, I don't care, because it's like it's there. There's millions are there. And because I have to exhibit that it's there, I trust. I don't want to have a rushing energy because it's there. I just want to slow down. Because what if this 100K a year is there? Why are we frantic around it? Because if I'm going to have it and I know I'm going to have it, can I just relax and can I be okay and happy with just like the 2000? But I'm not celebrating the 2000 because I'm like so sad about the fact that I don't have 100K. Do you guys get me what and then I'm projecting sadness, dissatisfaction. Can I just celebrate the $1,000 that I made? The $1,000. Yes, it's not 8,400 that will bring me, but instead of shaming myself, instead of like, I didn't still make it, can I be like, wow, I made $500 this month? Because that energy will amplify and compound, because I already know I made 100K and now I'm not putting a timeline. The timeline is the motherfucking pressure that we want to release. And when we release any resistance, I am relaxed. When I'm relaxed, I'm a magnet. So I've got to learn to play back to the same things. And you'll be like, you taught us nothing new. You just told us to be in your energy, relax, and it'll come to you, as Abraham Hicks says. But it's the way we do it. So today, I'm going to just bring this all together for you guys. You're here to learn how to collapse the time between you and 100K a year. Or the 100K amount. It could be 3 months. Some of you are already doing it in a year. I get it. And some of you want to be like, I want to do it in 6 months, 3 months, whatever season you're in. Maybe you don't want to do it over and over again the same way. Like I don't want to. I don't want to do it what I did in my first year, then second year, third year, and I've changed it. And that's why I'm able to collapse time around it. Understanding that A, it's your desire. So why is it your desire? Okay. B, what in you is putting it on a pedestal? Like, really, do we need to put it on a pedestal? Because anything that I put on a pedestal, I separate. I never put my children on a pedestal. How many of your mothers, people you love, do you put your pet on a pedestal? Do you put your children on a pedestal? Do you put your mother and father? Like, I don't know, whatever that is close to you, that is true to you, that is natural to you, is never put on a pedestal. Anytime we put something on a pedestal is a big reflection that, oh, hang on, what in me is feeling it's not natural to me. And though that's the work, that's the collapsing of the storylines, and that's getting squeaky clean. That's like, ooh, why? 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 I am putting it on a pedestal. Why? Why doesn't it feel like my bestie in my back, but it's just there, right? So understanding that, because the more I understand, I get into the playground of my mind and I collapse it, I clear it, boom. Then was the part of understanding that have I already made 100K in my life? And most of you would be yes. And even if it's close, doesn't matter. Get to the highest number. Okay, I made it. Say maybe it's 90,000, 80,000 for you. Don't sweat over the 100K. Would you be happy if you made 80,000 in this year? Yeah, same thing. So understand the total amount roughly. Doesn't have to be figure by figure. Don't pull your hair out because it's like, I need to go back to my job in 2015 to find out how much. No, just by memory. And then you go like, ooh, I did make this much money. And now I'm just like, you suddenly see you got changed around the fact that you made 100K. Before this call, you were like, I've not made this. And now you're like, I didn't. I've done this already. It's not like I did it. I've done this. And now it's like, okay, well, if I've done this, how do I want to do it again? What fashion do I want to do it again? What kind of timelines do I want to play with? Not like it has to be now in 12 months. No. Do you really care if it happened in like 18 months instead of 12 months? A part of you would be like, no, I don't actually. So then it's like, I've done it. How do I want to do it again? How did I feel? You felt maybe, you were like, I didn't feel good. I had to work long freaking hours. Okay. Well, this is a good opportunity. Now you know the contrast. Now you go like, well, I'm going to create this 100K in a different way. I've done it. I already know. I know how to make 100K. Your brain cannot reject it. The moment you tell yourself every day, I already know how to do it, I'm just choosing a different way. I already know how to make 100K, I'm choosing a different timeline. I already know how to do 100K, I'm choosing a different feeling around it. The energy just moves. You are now the identity, the person who already knows how to make 100K. From the identity who wanted to learn to make 100K, today you moved into the identity of Prachi, please, like, show me the hand, please. I don't need to learn. I already know how to make 100K. Can you say that to me? Please, yes. Talk to the hand. I already know how to make 100K. I'm just choosing a different way. I want you to leave this call feeling so empowered that you can turn around to me and say, hey, I've done this. This is so good. Thank you. But I'm now going to find my own ways. I'm going to do it my way. Thanks for sharing your way, but I don't have to do your way. I'm going to find my way because it's my life. So I really hope that you're able to bring this together for yourselves in the most divine way, in the most true way, most aligned way for yourself. Because again, as I said, I haven't lived your life. I haven't lived your cloud. I haven't lived your experiences. I've only lived mine. And everything I share, my version would be probably this. And you're like, I would never, ever, ever come this close to even understanding your life and your experiences. Neither would you understand mine. So never just take what I'm saying as your truth. It is a perception. It is a perspective shift. You get to create yours. But even in the act of me sharing mine and offering you some that I've learned, it allows you to go like, hang on, I can just move mine in a new direction. What's feeling true to me, right? because again, it is all about liberation. We will not feel liberated till we keep feeling like other people's truth is more important than ours. No way. Yours is important. Thank you. Now I want to obviously answer questions live if you guys have questions for me. Yeah. Yes, I feel multi six, seven figures, as of say, for me, it's about creating it in ways that feel soul aligned and free. Yes, absolutely. And if we don't have any questions, that's cool too. I love all of this. This is beautiful. I love you guys. I will post this in the Telegram and I will see you next week. I'm very excited because I have some special things that I will drop in there, but it's basically around 26 days to my birthday. So every day I'm going to drop special offers. There's so much happening. And I also realized, looking at these letters today, today marks 2 years of my book. 2 years back, I launched Play. And it's such a beautiful day. So I'm really excited. I mean, I launched it on, basically it was published on 22nd of April, but by the time it became live and stuff, so I'm very excited and I wanted to share it with you guys. Thank you. I will see you next week.